What is up, you sexy beasts? I've been hit by a pretty terrible head cold, a sore throat, snotty nose, just feeling yuck. So I'm literally lying there thinking, do I just go for a sleep or do I shoot this YouTube video? I just love and miss you guys so much, so we're shooting the video. Actually, before we do that, look at my cat. She's so beautiful. Don't you wish you could just be a cat some days? Just sleep and lie around all day, everywhere. Hey, there he is. What is up, you sexy beasts? Hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. Other than my head cold, I've had a brilliant weekend filming Kara and Zeke for the CrossFit Games. It's been a lot of fun. I'm lucky. I'm lucky that I could watch these guys actually compete in person and actually see them work out. It's just not the same when it's online, eh? Like, you just don't feel connected to the athletes, to the action. You kind of see the leaderboards, but it's just not the same. I honestly cannot wait for the semi-final. Hopefully there's going to be a bunch of in-person events around the world that people can go and attend. It's looking like the Torium Pro here in Brisbane will go ahead, so I'm very excited to be there filming in person. And I'm just excited for the athletes to actually get the opportunity to compete again. For some of these athletes, it's been over a year of in-person competition, more than a year and a half to 2 years, really. And I was talking to Zeke earlier today, and he was saying even just me being there at the camera just kind of made it feel like a bit more of a competition vibe. And so these guys are just hungry for in-person competition. It's amazing how many athletes are so much better when it comes to in-person competition than they are online or in training. Zeke is a classic example, but also someone like James Newbury, even Khan Porter. I mean, Khan did amazing in the online stages so far, but they all say the same thing. They just perform so much better when they're live in person with the other competitors, so it's gonna be good. How about you guys? Did you follow the action this weekend? I feel like there wasn't a whole lot to watch. Obviously there's the update shows and you can watch some of the comparison videos of the different athletes. But yeah, how did you find the weekend? What do you think of the quarterfinal structure? The 5 workouts over 3 days? It was interesting to me that they could do the workouts whenever they wanted. So at first I thought that they might only get 2 workouts per day to complete, so they don't actually get the other workouts till the next morning. But they got all 5 workouts up front, which meant they could actually do them in any order they liked. They could do it all in 1 day or 2 days. They didn't have to take all 3 days. And I think a lot of athletes did it in 2 days and just took the Sunday off. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the structure? I think it was pretty good. Speaking to the athletes, they really enjoyed it. They thought it was pretty well run. I think overall the consensus has been that the programming was good, the structure was good. So yeah, good job across the games. You might have seen the little tiger head on the screen there. I'm actually playing around with a few ideas for merch, a few design ideas. And if you follow me on Instagram, I just posted a few of those ideas. They're very much just early day concepts. I made a promise to myself that I wouldn't put any merch out until this channel hit 10,000 subscribers. That was going to be my reward for getting to that point, is to be able to put out my own merch. I've always loved fashion and also fitness apparel, and so I've always dreamt of having my own little brand that kind of merges those two worlds, the fashion world and the fitness world, and just create a few little pieces that people can wear, maybe not while they're working out, but maybe throw on a t-shirt after they've had their session, and they can wear it to the cafe, you know, something that's still fitnessy, but also a bit more fashionable. So that's what I'm hoping to achieve with the few pieces of merchandise that I'll put out. And obviously we'll just start small with a limited amount of designs, and then we'll just build on it every time we do a new drop. So I'm super excited. We're still a while off. We're still a good kind of 3,500 subs away. So if you're not subscribed, that would really help me, and it will get us to that point we can release some merch. So anyway, that little hand draw tiger, let's see if I can focus on it. That's one of the designs I got done, like a hand drawing for like a little tiger, like a sexy beast. I thought it'd be cool to have like a sexy beast icon, like a tiger head or a lion head. And I'm really liking that design at the moment. So anywho, let's have a look at the leaderboard real quick. It's kind of weird because we know that most of the athletes have finished all 5 workouts, but the way that they're releasing the scores is they're only releasing 2 event scores per day. So we've currently got 4 events on the leaderboard, still 1 more to come. That'll be released tomorrow morning, 5 a.m. I think, or 5:30 a.m. in Australia. I'm not sure what time that is where you are, but we're another kind of 12 hours away from finding out the full leaderboard. But let's have a look in the meantime at what we have currently. Now, one thing that sucks, and I wish they didn't do it this way, you can't see a worldwide leaderboard for the quarterfinals. You can only filter it by the continent or by the region. So we can't actually have the Australasian athletes next to the US and Europe athletes. It's all separated. So not sure why they chose to do it that way. Like for the open leaderboard, you can choose your region, but you can also choose a worldwide leaderboard. So it's definitely doable. Not sure why they chose to not do that, but hopefully the games will bring out a few leaderboards where we can just, for interest's sake, see where all the athletes fell on a world kind of stage. Now, one thing that's really important when you're looking at the leaderboard is this little table you can see up on the screen now, and that is the total amount of athletes that are progressing from the quarterfinals to the semifinals in their region. So you might not see your favorite athlete in the top 30, and you might be thinking, oh my gosh, we've only got 30 going to the semi-final, they're not going to make it. Well, that's not true for North America. In fact, in North America, we have 120 advance. In Europe, 60. So the reason for that is there are multiple semi-finals in those areas. And then for Oceania, South America, Asia, and Africa, we only have one semi-final event. So that's why there's only 30 people advance. And I believe these numbers are just based off the open participation. There's a lot more people that take part in the open in North America and Europe. And so therefore they get to qualify more people. Now, one interesting question that I know you might have is how do they decide which athletes go to which semi-final, and I believe the way it's going to work is like a draft. So the person who places first in North America, they get first picks. They can pick which of the three semi-finals they want to go to. The next person in the line gets to choose, and so on and so forth. So essentially, the higher up you qualify on the leaderboard, the more chance you have of being able to choose where you're going, and the less chance of actual semi-finals filling up and you having to travel somewhere you don't want to be, or competing against athletes that you maybe don't want to compete against. So that's going to be an interesting process if that is how they do it. That's just what I've heard. Okay, let's start with the North American ladies. Emma Carey, she's 16 years old. She's in first place currently after 4 workouts. And in second place, just close behind her, Mallory O'Brien, again, 17 years old. Now, these ladies' names came up during the Open, and, we're impressed. But people, tend to think, it's open style workouts, and, it's all good. They do well in a few workouts. But here they are, 4 workouts in, top of the leaderboard, 16 and 17. Do you know how young that is? That is outrageously young. The amount of experience they're going up against and beating is incredible. So they are ahead of the field. Danny Spiegel, Brooke Wells, Amanda Barnard, Danielle Brandon. There's just so many big names. Christy Eramo, massive names, and these 2 teenagers are just crushing it. So it'll be unreal if they can hang on to those spots after the 5th workout gets kind of calculated tomorrow morning. But that is just very exciting to see 2 young new females come into the sport, and I'm sure we're going to hear about them and get to know them a lot more over the coming years. So that's probably the main story on the ladies' side in North America. On the men's side, you've got Travis Mayer leading the way. I'm a bit surprised by that, to be honest. I mean, Travis is an amazing athlete, but he's a taller athlete. He probably doesn't move as well as some of the other athletes on the leaderboard here. But yeah, props to Travis, man. That's unreal. So he's leading the way again after 4 workouts. Scott Panchik, I knew I'd see him up there. I reckon Scott's going to be on the podium this year. That's my pick. Who else we got there? Jeffrey Adlis up there. A name I'm really glad to see, Cole Sager. I feel like he's been quite quiet over the last couple of years, so it's great to see him in the top 10 there. I've always loved Cole. Again, a bigger athlete, but just the nicest guy. Paddy V, top 10. Where's Mr. Brent Fikowski? I see Justin Medeiros has jumped up to 12th. He was like in the 30th after the first 2 workouts. Samuel Kwan's there. Noah Olsen, 15th. But yeah, here's a good example. Brent Fikowski, he's on the 2nd page. He must be, yeah. He's sitting 58th. But again, 120 athletes are qualifying from this region, so he's still well within that. But yeah, a big name, well outside the top 20, sitting at 58th. Even someone like Will Morad, I would have thought would be higher. Tola, sitting at 59th. It's really interesting watching the leaderboard and see how it all shakes out. Because really, we don't know how hard some of these athletes have been training over the last 12 months. We don't know how much they've moved ahead in their fitness and their strength. So it's fun for us as the audience to kind of start to see where the athletes really are at. Because the Open's one thing, but the workouts we saw this weekend in the quarters is a whole nother level. And so we're starting to see the whole picture for the season starting to unfold. And then obviously we'll see that even more into the semifinals. But yeah, interesting stuff. Reggie Fasa, He's leading the way in Europe for the men. He was the dude who got that super fast time on the dumbbell burpee box jump over. There's a lot of these names I don't know, but you got Jonakowski in there in 3rd place. You got BKG in 6th. Frederick Agidius, he's in 12th. Mr. Elliot Simmons, Team Witt, sitting in 30th. Adrian Mudweiler, sitting in 47th. One name that's currently sitting outside the top 60 in Europe that I thought would be right up there is Lucas Hoegberg. So he's sitting in 80th place at the moment. So I really hope that Lucas can get it back into the top 60 with this last workout. On the ladies' side in Europe, we've got Laura Hovarth leading the way there. Gabriella Magalla, remember that name. Gabriella's a young athlete as well that's just unreal. I've done a couple of interviews with her, and she's definitely one to watch. Very professional, very switched on. So she's sitting 2nd there. Kristen Holter in 3rd. Someone I don't see up here that I would have expected is Katrin. So Katrin's sitting in 12th. And then Annie in 13th. That's really impressive for Annie, and then Sam Briggs. So 3 big names there in 12th, 13th, and 14th. And again, I think something to remember is that the quarterfinals for a lot of these top athletes, like Katrin, for example, it is still just a formality. They're not going to fall outside the top 60. They're going to go through to the semifinals, and they're certainly not training to peak at this stage yet. It's too early. Speaking to Cara this weekend, her approach was very much to just have a crack at these workouts, make some mistakes, do a few reckless things, and not have too much of a game plan. And I can imagine that might be true for a lot of these athletes. And so maybe the placings, again, like the Open, don't quite reflect where they're at, what they're capable of, if they were really honing in. So again, I just mentioned that so you can keep it in mind that if your favorite athlete isn't quite sitting where you think they should be and you're worried, that's probably why. Okay, last one. We'll have a look at the Oceania leaderboard. You can go and check out the Asia and South American leaderboard yourself, but we'll have a quick quiz together here at the Oceania. Ladies, Tia-Claire Toomey leading the way. Right behind her, just 5 points behind her, Cara Saunders with one more workout to come. So that's going to be interesting. I just can't wait to watch these two go head to head again. Honestly, I know I've said this before, but I truly believe that at the moment, the closest female athlete to Tia is Cara. And I just want to see them in a head-to-head, real-life competition. I think it'd be great for Tia, especially to have someone that can really push her and maybe even bring out levels in Tia that we haven't seen previously. So I really hope that the games go ahead this year. We can see these two ladies go after it. Maddie Sturt, great athlete. We got 3 Kiwis in the top 10 at the moment, which is awesome to see. Madeline Sherling, Marnie Sykes, and then Bailey Rogers. Me and Bailey actually used to train together and coach together at gyms just like literally 500 meters from each other. So I know Bailey well, and I'm excited to see her back in the CrossFit scene. She's an amazing Olympic weightlifter, so I wouldn't be surprised if she goes up higher on the leaderboard after this last workout with the heavy snatches. So Bailey, proud of you, pumped. And one more shout out to a Kiwi, a veteran in the sport, that is Alethea Boone, sitting in 15th place. Pumped to see Alethea up there as well. And finally, on the men's side in Oceania, Jay Crouch running away with it at this stage. Khan Porter in 2nd, looking really good. Brandon Swan, 4th place. Come on, Brandon. Pumped to see Brandon throw down. The Torian Pro is a very good one for Brandon. He's got a great history there. He's won it a bunch of times. So Swanee's going through to the semi-final, home ground in Brisbane. It's, yeah, man, it's going to be epic. I actually believe that the Australasian men competition is one of the toughest in the world, if not the toughest in the world. There's only 3 spots for the games, and there are, I'd say, probably close to 10 athletes that have been to the games in the men's field. So it's going to be sad to watch some great athletes in the Oceanian region miss out on the games, but it's going to be a great show, that's for sure. I'm not going to lie to you, I was extremely nervous for James Newbury going into the quarterfinals. Just with the pistol workout, 180 pistols. He just had his knee operated on. There was the heavy front squats, the wall balls, just so much movement through the knee. So I was really worried about James. And I actually texted him yesterday morning and said, bro, how did you go on the pistols? And he sent me this photo. He went to do the workout in the morning, couldn't bend the knee, couldn't get full range, went to the doctor, got 40 mils of fluid drained out of his knee. Normally you have about 4 mils of fluid in there. He had 40. And went and redid it in the afternoon and absolutely smashed the workout. So he's sitting in 11th place, sitting pretty. He should be fine to qualify for the Torian. So he can now take the next 4 to 6 weeks to really recover well and come back stronger than ever. Great to see Royce Dunn, 13th place, Zeke Grove, 14th. All the Aussie athletes that we love are going to be at the big show. So bring it on. Just before I go, I wanted to give a massive shout out to the big man, Sam Dancer. The dude squatted 450 pounds, not squatted, sorry, front squatted 450 pounds for 4 reps. That's 203 kgs for 4 reps. Can you imagine unracking 403 kgs out of the rack? It would crush me, literally would fold me in half. But not for Sam. Sam squatted it for 4 and I'm sure he could have done more. So there you go, you sexy beasts. Been practicing that? I hope you've been practicing. That's gonna be the way we call each other. Like when the tribe gets together one day, when we're at an event, let's say we're at the CrossFit Games or Waterpalooza, and you're looking for the Sexy Beast tribe, that there's gonna be like the tribe call. So we'll just all hands in the air, just doing a bit of this, and then we'll congregate, you know, and our great looking merch. So anyway, sorry this video was a bit unfocused, but I just want to jump on, say hi, have a quick little look at the leaderboard to see your faces. So thanks for being patient with me. Hopefully this head cold clears up and I can get back to a focused state. But anyway, you keep roaring love, stay extremely sexy, and I'll see you real soon.